All right, guys. So today we're going to check out a brand new pair of Edifier speakers. Now, Edifier has made some of my favorite like bookshelf or desktop style speakers. And the one that we're going to check out today, which is the M90, I was actually supposed to check out at CES, which I did not get to go this year. A lot of stuff going on. But they sent them out. I've had them for about a month now. And I can say that what they're trying to do with the M90 is basically make a pair of bookshelf speakers or desktop speakers that can be your one-stop shop. It really can handle like all of the different speaker needs that you would have at your house. And I think they did something pretty interesting here. So we're going to talk about that. But we can't talk about these without starting with the price tag. They do come in at $299. They also have an M60 model, which is $199. It does strip down some of the features that the M90 has. I would say that the M90 is kind of like their top of the line in this range as far as what they're trying to do. But the M90 is certified as both regular high-res and high-res wireless because it does have Bluetooth 6.0, so you do get the multi-point connection. But it supports LDAC playback as well. So you have 24-bit playback to 96 kilohertz. And the type of inputs that you have in here is what makes it where you can use it anywhere in the house. Because obviously I've been using it at my desktop. I'm going to show you the back of the speaker here. You can see all of the different inputs. Now it does have a knob which is for your volume and also being able to switch it between the different sources that you have plugged in. But you can see you have an optical plug-in, you have a USB, which is what I've been using for my PC. You have a regular aux if you just want to use just a regular auxiliary cable. It does have a sub out, so if you do want to plug a sub to here, you can. And then it also has the HDMI eARC plug-in, so you can just plug your TV straight into here and use this as like, instead of a sound bar, having some more high-powered speakers set up at your TV, because this does have 100 watts total, and that is because it is using two 35-watt 4-inch long throw aluminum drivers. This is what's handling your mids and your lows, but then they're also using two 15-watt 1-inch silk dome tweeters. This is what's obviously handling your highs. Now, what also makes these speakers interesting is it does come with a remote control if you want to control it that way, but it also connects to Edifier's Connect app, and that is allowing you to not only kind of keep the speakers itself updated. It comes with 3 different preset EQ options already built in, but it also has a 9-band equalizer if you just want to kind of dial it in and get it to sound the way that you want to. Now, I actually just like the way that it was tuned out of the box, even though I still kind of played around with the equalizer to just see what I can get out of these, and I played around with the different presets, but I think it's just classic. The way that it's tuned out of the box is already impressive in itself. Now, the build of the speakers itself, if you were to look at it from the front, I think the design idea behind these is just to keep everything extremely simple. There's no knobs or anything like that on the front. There is a light on the right-hand speaker just to let you know that it's on, and it will light up a different color depending on which mode that you're using it in. So, you know, I just use it at my desktop, which it's red if I'm using it there, and then it's blue if I'm using it in Bluetooth mode. And then there's no actual grill on the front, so you can actually see the 4-inch aluminum driver and the silk dome tweeter right up front. Again, it's very, very clean. Now, I have the black version here, but it is also available in white. And the white, I have to say, looks pretty sleek. But the black itself, everything is very subtle. It's very well built. It definitely has some weight to it, but it's not like overly heavy or anything like that. So now let's just go ahead and actually talk about the sound itself. If you're not going to use a sub, I feel like the bass is still pretty powerful. It's just fast. It's not one of those, again, that's trying to just like beat you down, or it's not loose at all. Edifier definitely did a good job with keeping everything clean with this speaker. When you add a sub to here, now I use a Mackie, I'm not really sure which model, but it is a huge sub. It adds so much body to the sound. So having that sub output is definitely huge, especially if you're going to use it as like your home theater setup. But even at the desktop, most of the time I just use it as a normal left and right speaker. I did not have a sub plugged in for that, and they get extremely loud. I didn't have any problem with any kind of distortion. Like I said, I listen to a lot of different genres, so the fact that the bass is very fast definitely lends itself well when I'm listening to like metal or anything that's just a little bit more chaotic. But what it's doing with vocals and what it's doing with the clarity and the details with the treble is just on a whole other level. Now, this is something, again, I'm kind of already familiar with Edifier in the first place, but male and female vocalists have a richness to their voice, but a lot of detail. Nothing out of this speaker sounds artificial to me. Again, I think the theme with this speaker is just clean. I could even see using this as like a professional monitor speaker. That's how clean and detailed this speaker is. And again, I don't feel like anything is being pushed to sound like something it wasn't intended to sound as. Now, I'm sure if you play around with the EQ setting and you want to bump up the low end or you want to bump up the treble, you can definitely get it to sound a little bit more artificial. But I would say that it kind of comes in tuned with like a slight U curve. I don't think like anything is done over the top. I don't think anything is being pushed or forced a little too forward. Vocalists sound like they're maybe a step or two in front of the rest of the mix, but the treble never got harsh, so there's no sibilant sound with the S's or anything like that. It's just simply fantastic what it was doing. And then with these being plugged into my desktop, I use them a lot for gaming, and that is where this pair excels as well. Now, Edifier has their own gaming lineup, which is the speakers that I used to have. I feel like they took a lot of what made those speakers special and also crammed it into these. Again, it really just made me feel like this was an attempt to try to make a speaker that you could use for everything. So my overall opinion is this. The M90 is, again, like the top of the line in this lineup specifically. The flexibility that it has with all the different inputs and being able to use it as a Bluetooth speaker. But most of the time I used it with the USB-C plug-in straight into my PC. And these speakers are now just going to become my daily speakers. These are the ones that I love editing my videos with because of the clarity that these have. But then switching over to gaming on my PC, I feel like it just kind of like steps up and adds everything that I'm looking for when I'm looking at a gaming speaker. And then listening to music, again, Edifier, in my opinion, I feel like they're really well known for their bookshelf or desktop speakers anyway. So that's exactly what you're getting. And if I wanted to, I could also, wire in my turntable and listen to my vinyl through these speakers as well. Again, it's the flexibility that's key here. But if you are interested in checking out the M90s, I will have them linked in the description below. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.